Yes. By the way, we have an advanced level coming up in February. February, I think the dates are first weekend of the February. First weekend of the February. So we'll be having very minimum.
One is on 29th, 30th, 31st January. That is
That's a camp. That's a camp. That's a camp, residential camp. Residential camp has got its own charm. It's a mixing of advanced and basic. That is happening in Pune, 29, 30, 31st. And another camp is there in the in Mumbai, that is 26th and 27th. Yes, 26th and 27th. But apart from that, the online advance batch is there in February. Next, I'll share that link and details. Those who are willing to join for that conversation, you can join that. It will be very intense and assignment based. Yes, Prashant is insisting on RAM, rational understanding and mindfulness. Yes, let's go to that slide. See, the rationality, why I'm not actually intentionally, I was not taking up that slide because we have repeatedly discussed what is rationality. Rationality is when our emotion is matter driven. When our emotion is idea driven, that time we go in a loop. So rationality and irrationality is not an opinion at all. It's absolutely a mathematics. Here, so you can draw it again. So any idea, any thought, thoughts, ideas, or yeah, so this is a cognitive aspect, and bringing some feeling. So equivalent of the feeling is emotion. We sometimes use the term emotion. We use the term voice of the organism. So these are generated. So what does it mean? Liking or disliking? Liking or disliking? Is there anybody in the queue? Let me just check. Okay. So whenever this happens, the feeling will acknowledge this idea, and there is no end to generation of the idea because it is a formless aspect and you keep on generating the ideas. It's a pool of ideas that will come in the moment we acknowledge it. So this is forming a loop. And when an action, somebody is unmute. Shankar sir, can you mute yourself? Yeah, thank you. So action or matter, if it is creating a feeling, here try and understand this, Prashant sir, that any action or the matter has got a start and end, specified start and end. So the impact of action and the matter on the feeling will have an end for sure. It is not a loop, no loop formation. If a loop is formed, then that is an irrational, and rationality is this action driven feeling. So whenever we sense a feeling which is action driven, some work tired me, not the thought of the work, right? Somebody slapped me, I have a pain on my cheek, not in my mind as an insult. If that is there, that will form a loop. Whether we should do it or not do it, that's a different issue, but it is a loop for sure. If we just see that, okay, it is a pain on my cheek, and my body has got the capability to repair it overnight. So this will go off. This will have an end. The moment I identify that individual has insulted me, I'll never be able to relieve myself from that emotion and the loop of that insult perception. Are you able to understand this mathematics? This is, I'm not proposing this as an opinion. This is a clear-cut matter-driven aspect and idea-driven aspect. So from last 2 days, we are talking on this a lot. That is what is the rationality. Are you rational understanding? Now, how to, so this is the problem statement. Now the problem, how to overcome the problem, that's the challenge, right? That this can be eased with questioning. The moment you question your feeling, which is idea generated, whenever you question your feeling, which is idea generated, that feeling will go off, will reduce its intensity. Yes, somebody was asking some question, I heard.
In this, you have mentioned that voice of organism, also you have mentioned along with feeling and emotion.
Yes.
So, with the voice of the organism, if this idea and similar thoughts are developed, then that sort of loop is okay. Is it okay? Because suppose the idea is in sync with the voice of the organism.
No, in since this voice of the organism means the pleasure or pain. Right? Voice of the, what are the voice of the organism? Pleasure or the pain? That means identification to continue with that origin or discontinue with the origin. These are the identification. So if any thought is coming, which is giving a pleasurable feeling or painful feeling, in both the cases, the real entry is not there. It is an imaginary entry. Try and understand. No
So if
idea
the
generated
idea is
feeling can be
given,
justified.
or if the voice of the organism is coming to the ideas, developing, like we are learning now to listen to the voice of the organism, and then we have the ideas which are generated consequent to that.
We are learning to analyze the voice of the organism, ma'am. We will be listening to the voice of the organism if it is matter driven. If it is driven by the matter, we'll be listening to it. If it is idea driven, we'll be questioning it. That is the proposal, ma'am. Voice of the organism means blindly we have to praise it and accept it. It is not the proposal here. We need to probe into the origin of the voice of the organism. If the voice of the organism's origin is the idea, then we have to question it, because it is not a real entry. It is an imaginary entry. Let it transform into action. Then it comes to us. So we have this is a TFA analysis. This is a rational analysis. You can read, there are a lot of separate workshops happen on TFA. So this is action, feeling, thinking. The forward loop is action should generate feeling. This is the rational route, and feeling generates thinking, and thinking generates action. If it is generating, the feeling is generated by the thoughts, then if the feeling is generating action, think about an obsessive action, how that can be a rational. Then action is bringing some thoughts, which is quite impossible. So this
maybe some example can help, sir.
Yes. So examples, lot of examples we have taken already. Meenu, in previous one session, Meenu was talking about the ironing of the clothes. Ironing of the clothes, 50 clothes she was given for ironing. Now, by seeing 50 clothes, if she is shocked, no, I cannot. That's a pleasure and pain identification is happening. Just the thoughts. because the action is not started yet. If you start ironing the clothes, after 15 clothes or 20 clothes, if you feel tired, that feeling is a rational feeling because it is generated out of the action and it will end. If the idea is tiring you, that means from the thought, your feeling is generated. So this is the irrational route. Why? Because the feeling, when you translate the feeling into action, it is half-hearted action. Because the feeling is already going back to the thought, supporting the thought, come, more, come. Then a lot of thoughts are coming and your vitality is zapped here. So whenever we do any work with feeling, that work is half-heartedly done. Because half of the heart is engaged in generating the thoughts. Are you able to understand this aspect?
Generally, we think that if there is a feeling means we'll be do more involved manner.
That's why we need to understand this. Actually, we talk about the thoughts there. We term the feeling, but we talk that the deep thinking is there, then you do it. If we are talking about the actual feeling, then we are not understanding the loop at all. So these three aspects, this is the physical aspect. The action is a physical aspect. Feeling is a physiological aspect. And thinking is the psychological aspect. Sankar sir, the mental and psychological, neural, cognitive, all are equivalent. These words are being used interchangeably here. So these three domains we need to identify separately. If we involve physiology in executing, which is being driven by the neural impulses, then there is inside a loop already there and most of the vitality is zapped there. Then from where I'll bring vitality to allocate for the action? So an action, awareness driven action means the thoughts which is bypassing the emotion is the awareness. An action which is awareness driven is getting the benefits of most conserved vitality. Right or wrong, these all things are very shallow conclusion. Right, sir? Think, feel, act, and act, feel, think. We tried to cover. Now, the mindfulness, the meditation aspect. So meditation aspect, actually, we club this rationality understanding with the mindfulness, you know. When we go for these forward loop means just a second. Action, feeling, thinking. This is the forward loop. If this is the forward loop, then this is the mindfulness, actually. If we can attain this loop and discard the reverse loop in life. So meditation is a process of bypassing the feeling from the thoughts. Meditation means you are sitting and practicing. There, you are not engaging yourself physically anywhere. That time, you should not have any emotion. If emotion is occurring, then you have to observe it, that from where it is coming. It must be coming from some idea. Right? So that is what is the mindfulness. Mindfulness, the meaning of mindfulness, let's understand in this basic workshop. Mindfulness is the state where I'm directly translating my thoughts into action. I'm not bringing any disturbances here. So in other words, action is hand, we call. and feeling is the heart we call, and thought is the head we call. So we are translating head into hand, bypassing the heart. Heart driven action is irrational action.
But all the spiritual and moral people, they say दिल से काम करना चाहिए, हार्ट से करना चाहिए, दिमाग को ज्यादा नहीं सुनना चाहिए.
I'm not bringing any opinion, ma'am. I'm just talking about the vitality engagement. If it is coming from the head to heart, then it is going back to the head. It is not going directly to the hand.
So it may go from head and heart, can both combine and go to the hand.
How? Because if the head is identified by the heart, then head will bring more ideas. Because idea is formless. There is endless idea flowing. The moment you start identifying and enjoying the idea alone, then that idea is strengthened and the feeling is looped. Are we able to understand this aspect, like this rational loop and irrational loop? Whatever, whoever has spoken what and with what intention and what context, that's a different discussion altogether. If we can relieve from all those conditioning and try and understand this mathematics of the vitality.
I didn't understand properly. I don't know about the other participants. I'm having difficulty in understanding.
So you're coming to the Pune workshop for further.
Yes, for that I have to come.
Yeah. So this idea, some formless entity which is generated with imagination and assumption. Are we able to understand the idea is nothing but some imagination or assumption? First thing first, do you able to understand this? Are you able to understand this? Sir, please go ahead. Tell me, sir. Shankar sir, you are not unmute. You need to unmute and speak.
Oh, sorry.
Sir.
Passion is idea, thought, or matter?
Emotion. Passion
So,
is emotion.
it is said that whatever work we do with passion leads to success.
No, I don't know. Like, how? Which one is the passion here? Which one is the passion here? Like, one. What is success here?
Success means if you are successful in normal terms, we mean that a person is, say, Einstein. If we consider him to be a successful person, then he was very passionate about his work and he was loving it. But now the question is passion emotion, or rather cognitive, whatever you said, or matter driven?
Yeah. So if the passion is the physiological sensation or the fixation of the individual, if you are meaning that, then Einstein was never a passionate person. What we are talking here is the fixation or the obsession that arrives at the physiological level from some idea. Einstein or any so-called successful whatever we understand. The other day there was a discussion about Rabindranath Tagore, that without being emotional person, can he write that kind of songs or the poems? That was the proposal. So my counter proposal was there, that do you think an obsessive person who enjoys the physiological sensation more than the idea driven sensation, can do a valid work? It cannot be done. Just observe this phenomena closely. That person has used the idea to translate into work, then he enjoyed the work at the physiological level. So we need to understand. So we are not defying the existence of the emotion. We are talking about the rational emotion, which drives us, which brings the so-called success. if it is action driven, if it is matter driven, then it is a valid emotion which lead me to a path of nature. If it is an idea driven thing, then it zaps my energy, zaps my vitality. Because the entry is endless. The matter entry, the action entry has got a start and end. This is a simple mathematics. Any action has got a start and end.
Yeah.
An idea, where is the start and where is the end? If I start identifying idea with my physiology, that means I am allowing more idea to affect my physiology. Can we understand this aspect?
But again, these thoughts cannot be controlled, or ideas cannot be controlled.
Thought
rather,
can be controlled if I can observe my emotion. Thought will be on its own regulated if I don't identify with my emotion. If I observe my thought and direct it to the action, then comes to my feeling. I'm not denying the existence of the feeling. So thought is this side, coming to the action is this side, and from action hit me. From action hit me here, I'll identify it. This is the conserving route. Here we are single focused, conservation of vitality. If any idea is coming here, I'm not conserving vitality. My actions are compromised. Are we able to identify these three separate domains?
why are you making three domains? Why don't you make it two domains only? Physical and chemical, both merged together, one domain. That means mental and physical actually is a gross thing.
But the chemical aspect is the individualized, that is me only. Whatever the chemical sensation that I'm experiencing here, this is my exclusivity. My action can be identified by Shankar.
For the purpose of easing it out.
No, easing it. We are not trying to ease it out. Let it be complicated. Let it be complicated the way it is. We can, for the sake of easing it out, we cannot dilute the aspect.
But again, mental thing, whatever you are telling as mental or cognitive, whatever, it is a part of our intellect or brain or neuro. It is existing. It is there itself in the body. So we cannot say that it is absolute abstract. Thoughts are abstract, you can say like that. But the secretion or chemical which is being secreted due to the thoughts are matter.
Yes, that's
so
what is the proposal.
We can easily rather differentiating or making three parts, we can make it into two parts. Whatever is coming in our mind, if you allow me, then
yeah, please go ahead.
Whatever which is coming in my mind, let us take it as if it is coming. It is a fact, it is coming.
Yes.
Now, if I can address it at that point, whether the route is okay for me,
how to address
that why tool is there. That why tool is there.
So
if
you are talking about bypassing the emotion. Bypassing the emotion. You are talking about the bypassing emotion because the why is the tool.
It's not bypassing it. I am addressing it. I am not bypassing it. Just like suppose I am being craved by seeing some object or a food.
Yes.
So I am very much aware that this food is not a natural food. But because since this time I am taking that food and relishing it, let's do it because some change is already there. I am salivating out of it. So I'll have it, but with awareness that this is not good enough for my body.
Yes. This is absolutely a rational process.
This is
a rational process. But what you are denying here in the discussion, that these three discrete aspects, physical, physiological, and psychological. Now I'll give you an example. Tell me your favorite cooked food? Tell me.
Say, kosha mangsho, that is in Bengali.
Okay, mutton. Cooked mutton. Cooked mutton is your favorite food.
Right.
And tell me a cooked food which you don't like. Like, which you don't like means which doesn't generate a disliking or liking.
Like uche bhaja, that is Karela, that is
No,
bitter
that's a
gourd.
disliking. I want a neutral food which doesn't generate any emotion within you by seeing it.
What do you call? I mean, cooked food, you mean?
Yes. Do
Loki.
you consume beef? Do you consume beef? Okay, beef may generate disliking. But Loki, yes, Loki.
Right.
Loki doesn't generate you disliking or liking, right?
Yeah.
Right. So now, if you observe these two thoughts by seeing cooked mutton, and cooked bottle guard.
Yeah.
These two things you are observing. One, so both the cases, some thoughts are coming in your mind, but in one case there is a salivation.
Yeah.
In another case, there is no salivation.
Right.
So just thought is there in this bottle guard thing. But in the cooked mutton, you have a salivation. That means there is a physiological response. So do you identify the separate two entities, the thought and the emotion or the feeling or the physiological sensation? Do you identify in these two cases?
Yes. That means
So
one is more salivating, one is not. Do you mean to say that?
So just identify these three separate domains. You are denying the existence of these three domains. I am trying to bring the awareness of these three domains separately, which attracts the vitality. Are we able to identify these three domains or not? That's the first question. You were denying the existence of the three domains.
No. See, from the point of view of vitality engagement, three domains, it is there. We have to accept it. But for conserving it, when we are discussing about this TFA loop, in that case, if you want to differentiate between what is feeling and what is matter, because half of the energy will go while differentiating what is the feeling aspect, what is the matter driven, which is matter driven, which is idea driven. Whatever.
No, it has to go. It has to go. In this analysis process, we have to invest energy. After that, the relaxation and the conservation will start. See, the mind aspect cannot be addressed unless we address this aspect. If we decide that no, mind is not my game of addressing, I cannot take up the mind aspect to relax myself, then eating fruit is the option we recommend. Eat fruit, and when you are ready, come back to this. If you are considering that no, this investment of the energy in analyzing process, I am not going to do. I'm not ready for it. It's okay. Now you are not ready. Just prepare yourself and come back. But unless you do it, ultimate conservation of vitality cannot happen. Unless we identify that the idea is eating me. Idea is driving me. Unless we identify this and address with the why. You talked about the why. That is the route to address and reduce the emotion.
Is there any activity without any idea? Can you quote one?
So we are not denying the idea.
Except the children's activities. Except the children's activity.
Sir, the proposal here, we all experience feeling out of idea. The proposal here, whenever, actually we are talking the same things, maybe the approach is different.
Different way.
Whenever the idea is generating a feeling, I must counter it with a why, with a question. That why it is generating this matter. That's it. As simple as that.
Any matter which is driven by matter, there has to be some idea behind it.
Any matter? Yes. No denial to that.
Necessarily.
We are questioning the emotion, sir. We are questioning the emotion. Idea driven matter. Yes, Minu?
So, Shankar sir, just from what he said, what I understood is that is there any matter that can generate feeling without any idea? Yes, there are matters which generate feeling without idea, like a mango. When you are eating it, when you are hungry, it is not generating any idea there. It is just directly generating the feeling from the matter, right? Is that what you meant? As an example, you needed this example, or is it something else that you're trying to say? I mean, I'm just
Anyway,
asking.
I guess the others are getting bored in this debate, so we can continue on some other occasion offline on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anybody would like to share anything? We have some few minutes left in this workshop. Prashant, how do we conserve vitality by relating with someone or mirroring someone? Please elaborate. Okay, so mirroring aspect is to be understood that how we understand the thing. Anything that we understand, if we attentively try to understand something, anything, let it be a skill training or a book reading or interacting with someone, when you mindfully, attentively interact and try to understand, you actually mentally transport yourself in that position of that person. Then only you understand the explanation or whatever the narration that individual is presenting before you. Whenever you are mindful, you are mentally transporting yourself and trying to understand the perspective of that person, from where he or she is coming. So this process is very natural process, which is called mirroring or mental transportation. And this process is natural and needful process to experience the cognitive growth. The moment I transport myself to you, I become two from one. Because I was here and I now started understanding you. So I now started understanding two people, I and you. Then again, I started understanding Dr. Dubey. Then I started understanding Meenu. Then I started understanding Shankar. So, for example, these kind of conversation which you experienced just a couple of minutes before, in this, if the arrogance is coming, that means we cease to transport ourselves to understand the other's perspective. That time the irrational, that loop is coming, arrogance is coming, that somehow if I start thinking that Shankar is disturbing this session, which is an imagination, actually Shankar is trying to clarify his doubts. So if this understanding is there, that means I am able to transport myself in Shankar's position and understand his perspective. And in this way, I am expanding myself to Shankar. This is what is the expansion of cognition or expansion of the self. Are you able to understand, Prashant? Sir, thank you. So I think we have a couple of minutes left. How much time is left, sir?
Sir, 4.5 minutes.
Okay, we have a lot of time. Yeah, any question or any observation, if anyone wish to share? We have around 4 minutes to left to end the session.
Can I share something?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So, first of all, I would like to begin with thanking you for this beautiful view that I'm enjoying up on my terrace. It's because of your sessions, Vikas decided to utilize our terrace after 17 years of staying in this place. This is the first time we are, using our terrace. So 17 years
Congratulations.
is a pretty long time. I heard.
Congratulations.
Yeah, actually, I came to know a lot of things through him as well before, yesterday. But I think attending this personally has made more sense. Of course,
Yes,
there will be a lot of confusion, lot of questions, a lot of clarity that
obviously.
required once you mindfully start practicing or thinking about the concept. So I'm glad that it's going to be an active group at least for a while, so that whatever questions or anything that comes in our mind can be probably addressed well. And also I'd like to appreciate the
Yeah.
entire group for their questions and participation, because I think through that also a lot of learning happened. So a big appreciation for everybody. Thank you.
Ma'am, Kekul ma'am, can we expect you to be there in Pune then?
uh, I don't really mind. I would love to do that, but honestly, we haven't stepped out of our house since last March. So we are
That
still like the entire family is still staying home,
from
and
last 2 days, our Kalyan sir is trying us to break that jinx of Corona and all.
I know. So until we become stronger, because we have only understood these practices, we haven't actually practiced it. So we have to reach there before we start taking any extreme actions. So of
Le-
course,
Yeah.
sooner or later, we
let's
hope to meet.
give a priority to the action then,
Yes,
rather than
yes.
the
Can we
idea.
take a group
Yeah.
photo, sir, please?
Yeah.
Of this
I
group?
think you want to take, you are on laptop, or Himanshu has to take a screenshot. I'll just stop my screen share. Yeah.
And Kalyan sir, just a request, whenever you have any further sessions or workshops, please do let us know, so that if we want to join, if it is feasible, we
Yes, yes.
can.
Definitely.
Thank
Definitely. Yeah. So Aparna, we'll be taking that your question offline. I've seen we don't have much time, so we'll be taking that offline. So Himanshu sir, yeah, Laksh.
Laksh, देखो.
Hello, Laksh. Please take some snaps.
Yeah, so I would request Nagalakshmi, Somil, Ranjan, Prashant to switch on their cameras just
Yes,
for
yes.
the photograph.
Just for a few seconds. Thanks, the group.
Somil and
For,
Prashant, if you can also join.
yeah, Partha. Hi, Partho.
Hi, hi, hi. I was attending, and I
Yes,
was
yes.
being like obviously experienced of a lot of questions. So majority of my questions is getting solved throughout
Yes,
by the
yes,
questions
yes,
of
yes.
other participants.
Very interactive group, and it's a
Right, only
privilege.
Prashant is we are waiting for Prashant, though I have clicked some.
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, Prashant is there.
Okay, Prashant has joined by two names, so that's why I got confused.
Okay. Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
so I have taken lot of
yeah.
snaps. We'll post it
We
on.
can hear, yeah, we can hear the sound of the snaps. Hi, Laksha. Love you.
Watch.
Yeah.
Laksh,
Right.
Nice.
Hello, karo beta. नहीं?
So what
So
is